Small house layouts with separate guest rooms that still feel open, bright, and connected. Welcome to Miko House, where we dive into the art of living beautifully in every square foot. Today, I'm thrilled to explore a topic that always sparks my curiosity. How can small house layouts include separate guest rooms while still feeling open, bright, and connected? At first glance, it might seem like a contradiction, separating spaces without sacrificing that coveted airy feeling. But I've seen some truly clever solutions that challenge our ideas of what small really means.
Archimags makes it minimal, fast, and beautiful. Download and save your favorite design issues today, completely free. Get Archimags on the App Store now.
My opinion is that small house layouts can absolutely include separate guest rooms without sacrificing openness, brightness, or connection. I've always been fascinated by how thoughtful planning can make compact homes feel far larger than they really are. To me, the best designs prove that privacy and spaciousness don't have to compete when every square foot is used intentionally. In my experience, the biggest challenge with guest rooms in a compact home is avoiding the sense of claustrophobia or isolation. Too often, guest rooms become afterthoughts tucked away in dark corners, barely used except during the occasional visit. I think this is a missed opportunity. When designed thoughtfully, a guest room can add vibrancy and flexibility to a home, providing privacy for visitors without making the rest of the house feel cramped or disconnected. I believe the biggest challenge with guest rooms in a small home is preventing them from feeling isolated or forgotten. Too often, these rooms are tucked into dark corners and only used a few days each year. I think a well-designed guest room should feel like an integral part of the home, offering visitors comfort and privacy while remaining connected to the overall living experience. What I love about many modern small house designs is their refusal to let walls dictate the entire flow. Instead of solid partitions, I've seen the use of translucent panels, sliding doors, or even cleverly placed furniture to create boundaries. Unlike most homes with rigid walls, these approaches allow light and sightlines to weave through the space, maintaining a sense of openness. I often find that when you let natural light travel freely, even the smallest rooms can feel inviting and expansive. I've noticed that many of the most successful small house designs avoid relying solely on traditional walls. Sliding doors, translucent partitions, and carefully positioned furniture can define spaces while still allowing light and views to flow throughout the home. In my opinion, keeping visual connections intact is one of the simplest ways to make compact interiors feel bright and spacious. One surprising insight I've discovered is that the placement of the guest room matters even more than the size. Positioning the guest room near communal spaces, like just off the living area or beside a sun-filled hallway, can make it feel more like an extension of the home rather than an isolated cell. In contrast, I've visited houses where guest rooms are banished to the far end of the structure, and the result is always the same. It feels disconnected and a little unwelcoming. Would you rather give your guests a sense of belonging or make them feel like they're intruding? My opinion is that the location of a guest room matters more than its size. Placing it near shared living spaces or along naturally bright circulation areas helps it feel welcoming and integrated rather than hidden away. I think guests are much more likely to feel comfortable when their room feels connected to the life of the home instead of separated from it. Another design trick I admire is using consistent flooring and color palettes throughout the home. In my opinion, this visual continuity ties separate rooms together, blurring the boundaries and making everything flow. Sometimes, people mistakenly believe that each room needs its own identity, but I think a unified aesthetic actually amplifies the feeling of spaciousness. A guest room with the same warm wood floor and soft white walls as the living room feels less like a box and more like a natural part of the home. I always appreciate homes that maintain a consistent flooring material and color palette from room to room. Using the same warm wood flooring, soft neutral walls, or natural finishes throughout creates visual continuity that makes the entire house feel larger. To me, a unified design language is far more effective than giving every room a completely different identity. I have to say I'm a big believer in flexible furniture when dealing with limited square footage. Murphy beds, convertible sofas, and built-in storage can transform a guest room from a sleeping space into a reading nook, home office, or even a mini art studio. The beauty of this approach is that it keeps the room in use year-round, so it doesn't become a forgotten, stuffy space. In my own projects, I've noticed how this multi-purpose attitude leads to a more dynamic and connected home environment. I strongly believe flexible furniture is one of the smartest investments for compact homes. Murphy beds, fold-away desks, built-in storage, and convertible seating allow a guest room to function as a home office, reading room, or creative studio when visitors aren't staying over. I think multifunctional spaces make small homes feel more adaptable and enjoyable every day. Natural light is non-negotiable for me. I often see guest rooms relegated to windowless corners, and I think that's a huge mistake. Skylights, clear-story windows, or even a well-placed interior window can do wonders. Letting daylight spill into the guest room not only makes visitors feel more comfortable, but it also helps the whole house breathe. Sometimes, just a borrowed glimpse of the outdoors can make all the difference. I consider natural light essential in every guest room, regardless of its size. Skylights, clear-story windows, interior glass panels, or thoughtfully positioned windows can completely transform the atmosphere. In my experience, even borrowed daylight makes a room feel healthier, brighter, and much more inviting for both guests and homeowners. I've also noticed that open shelving and glass partitions can keep sightlines clear without sacrificing privacy. It's counterintuitive, but transparency in design can actually make separate spaces feel more secure. People feel less boxed in, and the natural interplay of light and shadow adds texture to the interior. In one home I visited, a frosted glass wall between the guest room and hallway created both seclusion and a gentle glow, proof that boundaries don't have to be barriers. My opinion is that glass partitions and open shelving can provide separation without creating heaviness. Frosted glass, in particular, offers privacy while still allowing light to travel between rooms. I find it fascinating how transparent elements can make distinct spaces feel more connected instead of more exposed. Acoustic privacy is another subtle but essential consideration. I think it's easy to overlook how sound travels in small homes, especially when spaces are connected visually. Thoughtful materials like soft textiles, area rugs, and acoustic panels can absorb noise and preserve intimacy without shutting out the world. What's interesting is that a guest room can feel open and connected while still offering a quiet retreat, as long as you strike the right balance. I think acoustic comfort deserves just as much attention as visual openness. Soft rugs, upholstered furniture, curtains, and acoustic wall treatments help absorb sound while maintaining an open layout. To me, the ideal guest room feels peaceful and private without needing thick walls that interrupt the home's overall flow. In my view, circulation paths are just as important as the rooms themselves. A cramped hallway or awkward entry can make even the brightest guest room feel unwelcoming. I prefer layouts where movement flows naturally, with wide doorways or even open thresholds that invite exploration. It's fascinating how a few extra inches of passage can dramatically improve the sense of freedom in a small home. I've learned that circulation often determines whether a small home feels comfortable or cramped. Wide doorways, simple pathways, and uncluttered transitions between rooms create a natural sense of movement that makes every space feel more generous. I believe good circulation is just as important as the rooms themselves. One comparison that always stands out to me is the difference between older, compartmentalized houses and newer, more fluid layouts. Traditional homes tend to box each function into its own room, which can feel restrictive, especially in a smaller footprint. In contrast, many contemporary designs embrace overlapping spaces where the guest room might double as a library or playroom. I think this flexibility is key to creating homes that adapt gracefully to changing needs. My opinion is that modern layouts often outperform older compartmentalized floor plans in small homes. Instead of assigning a single function to every room, flexible layouts allow guest rooms to double as libraries, hobby spaces, or playrooms when needed. I think this adaptability makes homes far more practical over the long term. I'm often asked if adding a guest room means sacrificing storage, and in my opinion, that doesn't have to be the case. Built-in cabinetry, underbed drawers, and wall-mounted shelves can maximize every inch. The trick is to integrate storage seamlessly so it supports the room's primary function without cluttering the visual flow. I've found that a well-organized guest room can actually enhance the sense of order and calm throughout the house. I've found that adding a guest room doesn't necessarily mean sacrificing storage. Built-in wardrobes, underbed drawers, recessed shelving, and custom cabinetry can maximize every available inch while keeping the room visually clean. To me, thoughtful storage solutions actually make the entire house feel calmer and more organized. Texture and material choices also play a huge role in how connected a small home feels. I tend to favor natural materials, wood, stone, linen, because they bring warmth and a sense of continuity. When the guest room echoes the tactile language of the rest of the house, it feels like a true extension rather than an afterthought. It's amazing how a simple touch like a woven rug or a timber accent wall can bridge the gap between spaces. I always gravitate toward natural materials because they create warmth and continuity throughout a home. Wood, linen, stone, and woven textures help a guest room feel like an extension of the surrounding spaces rather than a separate addition. I think consistent materials make compact homes feel more harmonious and welcoming. I've come to realize that outdoor connections are invaluable in small homes. A guest room with access to a patio, balcony, or even a small garden instantly feels more expansive. Not only does this blur the boundary between inside and out, but it also gives visitors a sense of autonomy. In my opinion, creating opportunities for indoor-outdoor living is one of the most effective ways to make a small home live large. I believe outdoor connections can dramatically increase the perceived size of a guest room. Whether it opens onto a patio, courtyard, balcony, or small garden, access to fresh air and natural views creates an immediate sense of openness. In my opinion, blending indoor and outdoor living is one of the most effective ways to make a small home feel much larger than its footprint suggests. My opinion is that the most successful small house layouts begin with clear intentions rather than design trends. Every decision should support the way you and your guests actually live, creating spaces that feel comfortable, flexible, and welcoming. I think when openness and privacy are balanced thoughtfully, even the smallest home can feel remarkably spacious and complete. Finally, I want to reflect on the importance of intention when designing for both openness and privacy. It's easy to get caught up in trends or try to mimic what works elsewhere, but the best results come from understanding your own needs and rhythms. What kind of experience do you want to create for your guests and for yourself? As you ponder that, I invite you to share your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe to Miko House for more inspiration on making every inch count, and let's keep reimagining what small homes can be together.